Hey everybody. You know, I had several videos I was intending to make and will make, and this wasn't one I intended to do, but I've been playing this Fender Ultra Strat, which has such good intonation, and I'm inspired to do a little lesson and also a tribute to one of the great underrated guitar players of rock music. You know, when people make these lists of underrated guitar players, I get that. You know, there's even one I have on this channel. I think I said Randy Bachman, Steve Miller, Justin Hayward. I said they were all underrated, which they are. But this guy might even be more underrated than that. But he's been at the center of some of the greatest music in the last 60 years. Definitely some of the greatest rock music. And that is Elton John's guitar player, Davey Johnstone. Is it Johnston or Johnstone? That guy is great. And I just want to say a little bit about him. Then I'm going to play through the electric guitar parts on a couple classic old Elton John songs, the way I would play them, with also the feature of the Leslie Rotary. Because he used the Leslie Rotary, that was kind of part of the Elton John signature sound, you know, that rotary setting. And you know what a Leslie Rotary is, right? And I was thinking about how important it was on all those classic Elton John albums, and I'm talking about the classic 70s Elton John. You know, and he was on all the albums from Honky Chateau through, I think even still today. I think he hasn't, maybe they've parted ways a couple times, but I think he's still been on stuff. And you know, I don't keep track of Elton John, but I was a huge fan in the 70s. This would be in high school, and we'll always speak well of Elton John. I think he's one of those guys that kind of became a celebrity. And we sometimes have to pinch ourselves and remind ourselves just how great he is, and definitely was at that time. But certainly one of the greatest things about Elton John, also aside from his great songwriting and piano, was his band. And he had one of the things I think that really made him sound so cool was he had an electric guitar in the band. It would have been awfully easy for a lot of producers. Okay, here's a guy that's got great songs, he writes great songs, plays the piano. They could have turned him into like the Carpenters or Barbra Streisand or some kind of producer with, all kinds of studio musicians. And I'm not even saying that would have been bad. You know, who doesn't like the Carpenters? And, Barbra Streisand actually has some great songs from this period too. But he had a band, and it was a kind of a glam rock band. And but one of the great things is Elton John had electric guitar with his piano, acoustic too. But I think the core of his band sound was he'd be playing acoustic piano. They had a great bass and drums. That was Nigel Olsson. I'm going to embarrass myself. And then he had an electric guitar, and that electric guitar playing through a rotary was such a big part of his sound, and it gave it that kind of glam rock, that kind of ethereal setting that I think definitely made it more like classic album-oriented rock than kind of a mid-tempo ballad pop artist, like a Carpenters or something. Not anything wrong with that, but the Carpenters were a piano-based band, but that it was that electric guitar. And it was, it was kind of a old school electric guitar, and that was Davey Johnstone. So I'm going to play a couple, and I'll write the chords up there. So I do consider this sort of a lesson, not necessarily by the way, these are not necessarily played just like he does, and I haven't seen that many videos that I saw highlighting his guitar parts. Now he does have some guitar parts that are, really stand out, like on Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, or Funeral for a Friend. There are a couple that really, The Bitch Is Back. There are a couple that really have great guitar, and that's him. This shows you that he can play. But a lot of times he would just be kind of playing those old popular, and it would be like these old kind of acoustic guitar chords. But also with electric, with piano, it's not all G, C's, and D's, F's and E flats and major sevenths, but still, like if you, like back in those days, if you had like a Mel Bay book or a Alfred's instructional book in your guitar lessons, and in the back of the book, there'd be a chord chart, here's an F chord, here's the B flat chord, here's an E flat chord. He played a lot of those kinds of chords, and I think, when you coupled that with Elton John's piano, it was just a classic sound. And when you think about it, how great that some record company or something did try to take away that band, because that band of his gave him such a great sound. And I think a big part of that was that electric guitar. And he'd have acoustics and instruments, and sometimes really quite nice orchestration, which I think was added after the fact. But the core of those songs was that band, and it was a rock and roll band. And he would play those kind of mid-tempo ballads, and that Davey Johnstone would just play the nice, those kind of nice guitar chords, but with that Leslie Rotary a lot of times, and it would give it that unique sound. So I'm going to do a couple, and we'll see what we come up with. And these aren't necessarily just like he played, so I'm not trying to say these are just note for note just like he played, but I do sort of think it's the approach he took, which was such a complimentary approach to Elton John, and I think made Elton John sound cooler than a lot of the other piano-based musicians of that time period, aside from the fact that Elton John had great songs. But I think his band made him sound more rock and roll and kind of gave him a ethereal edge. As much as I like Billy Joel, I would say he didn't have that quality, and I think Elton did in that period, that kind of glam rock sensibility. I just wanted to add on some of these chords with like the Davey Johnstone guitar parts. When you have a Walkdown, I used to teach a lot of guitar to younger people in music stores and things. This would be years ago, but that would always confuse people. Like if you're walking down from and obviously in guitar and piano popular music, you walk down all the time. But let's say you're walking down from a G to an E minor, and then you've got that F sharp there between the G and the E minor. There's an F sharp, and trying to write that F sharp into the music is always confused students, I've noticed, or people, because it's not really an F sharp minor. If you try to write G with an F sharp bass, I guess that's the most accurate way of saying it. I guess, although it's a G, but I don't know. But you've got quite a few of those in these Elton John songs. So in that Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, you've got a walk down. You're playing in the key of F, so it's a walk down. Then you go to an E, and then a D minor, and then a C. Let's try a couple here. Let's see. I was before I did this, I think Davey Johnstone, he plays up. When are you gonna come down? When are you going to land? I should have stayed on the farm. Should have listened to. That's a G minor there, and I think he plays that sometimes, a G minor. So I was kind of simplifying it down here, but he plays actually up the neck quite a bit. And then, see that? I think he plays up the kind of up the neck versions of those chords, which are still kind of the old guitar lesson chords. So. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, I did not find a whole lot on Davey Johnstone's playing on YouTube, which maybe is an omission. But I was trying to see some old clips, and of course those old clips are just as bad. Dodger Stadium, I even remember some of those concerts. That one in Dodger Stadium, I think that was the bicentennial year. That was when he was so huge, almost getting too huge by that point, but huge. But they all just showed Elton John. You don't get too many shots of Davey Johnstone, but I actually think he plays up here a lot, and that's like a G minor. That's a good one. Let's try this one. Now this one has acoustic on it, but but it also has electric. Of course, that slide part that's so famous. But this is that warble, that Leslie sound. Let's try it. Now I wasn't gonna sing these. This is not a performance, but it's I'll sing it just to kind of keep us on track, and also it's hard not to burst into song when you hear these great songs. Hear that, Leslie? a freaking great song. I played that song in particular many times. It's in the key. It's a little. Sometimes those Elton John songs are a bugger to sing when he gets into the great falsetto he had at that period. In that period. All right, this is the other one I was going to do. I played this on the piano many times. Recognize it by the guitar, and this is how I would play the guitar part, which I kind of think is the spirit of the song on the album. And this was one I just was reading about this song on the Wikipedia, and they mentioned they tried some different things, and they kept this electric guitar, not acoustic, electric guitar on a mid-tempo ballad. It would have been easy to kind of take the electric guitar out of there and minimize it, but they kept that electric guitar with that old late 1960s rotary speaker effect, the Leslie Rotary, on this 1974 classic, and that gives it that Elton John sound. The other walk down that's kind of like that's in this video of the many one could imagine, but in this video you've got that "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me." And you go to it you're playing in a C and you want to go to a B flat. So I don't know this. I'm not saying this is how he does it at all, but that's what I would do, because you could go. Da, 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 but that's not really right. You want that C with the bass, then an A, and when you play the A bass with the F chord, so you're still playing that A bass. So you got C. So you want to walk down da 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 dum ba da da da, then an A, then a G, or whatever it is. I'm not even that sure. I'm not trying to tell you it's exactly like the album, but to walk down like that. Then a G, and then I play a C chord with the G bass note down. Might not play that much in some of these sections. Let me try it again. anymore. I'm pretty sure this has an acoustic on it, but I wonder if somebody's realized that electric guitar with the rotary sound, and it's never out front. Once in a while you hear it out front, but it's definitely a significant aspect of his sound that set him apart from all those other piano groups, I think, where they would I don't know, I think there was something about somebody playing a big grand piano while those mid-tempo ballads, a lot of times it didn't come out as rock and roll as Elton John did. Even the nice melodic ballads are rock and roll, classic rock, glam rock kind of. I don't think he's such a celebrity now, but back then it was kind of like Mott the Hoople or David Bowie. But let's try this one. Daniel's traveling tonight on a plane. I could see the red tail lights headed for Spain, and I can see Daniel waving goodbye. But it looks like Daniel must be the clouds in my eyes. They say Spain is pretty, though I've never been. Well, Daniel says it's the best place he's ever seen. And oh, and he should know he's been there enough. Lord, I miss Daniel. Lord, I miss him so much. Oh, Daniel, my brother, you are older than me. Do you still feel the pain of the scars that won't heal? Your eyes have died, but you see more than I. Daniel, you're a star in the face of the sky. I think that's A minor chord. Daniel is traveling tonight on a plane. I can see the red tail lights headed for Spain, and oh, and I can see Daniel waving goodbye. Lord, I miss Daniel. See the clouds in my eyes. Let's just hear a little bit of that. I think this is the Elton John electric guitar sound of Davey Johnstone. Just a kind of a nice, well-played Strat with the Leslie Rotary on it. what? I'm going to do another video sometime on the Leslie Rotary effect. That's a really cool sound. But Davey Johnstone, you know, and I probably embarrassed myself on some of those. And like I said, I think he played some of those up the neck more, and I think it's gonna be a long, long time. But really, just kind of in the pocket playing, and you know, a lot of those old guitar book lesson chords, guitar chart on the back of the book, you know, with all the guitar chart in the back of the book with all the chords on it. Just using those, which are also kind of piano chords, and they also were of the piano vocal guitar songbooks of that period. And boy, did he add a lot to the sound. And you know, sometimes it's easy to not even realize it till you start to hear the guitar part and how it gave it a album-oriented rock feel and kept it from being just pop music. It really gave it a rock feel. I think that electric guitar was a really important part of his sound in that period. Just one of the great all-time artists, and that band was a critical part of it. Thanks. God bless.